5-10 game stretch. That's what we're looking at right now. Can they survive, Lou, without Giannis in the lineup?
Yeah, you know, we like to look at schedules and looking ahead. You got the Sixers, Pistons, Blazers, Heat, Knicks in the next 5. These are winnable games. I think this is favorable for them.
Which ones are winnable?
Yeah, and it gives them an opportunity to see, you know, Miles Turner can be a more aggressive now. Kyle Kuzma can show some more aggression, you know. But one guy that I know that's going to be featured on this team is going to be Ryan Rollins, the young fella. He's the one that has that natural pedigree to go out there, score the basketball, be aggressive on the offensive end. He's going to be able to pipe in some of those holes that Giannis feels. And obviously, one guy can't replace Giannis. They're going to have to do it by committee. The last game that they won, they had 6 or 7 guys in double figures. For them to be successful, that's going to have to be their calling card moving forward, especially knowing that, you know, he's going to be out possibly, you know, up to 14 days. And with groins, you don't really want to rush that back. And so I think they can survive in 5 to 10 games, but it's going to be a tough task. And Bobby will be here in a few minutes.
True.
You know, we'll ask him opinion on it and where they're going to go with it.
Yeah, I hate that this is now the story with a bunch of teams, right? The main guys
so
going
many.
out, and John Morant's out, Wemby's out, now Giannis is out. So you hate to see all these main, you know, elite athletes dropping. And with the Bucks more so than ever, we always talk about they don't really have that second option, but they do have guys that collectively can make it up with a guy like Bobby Portis, with a guy like Miles Turner. They didn't necessarily bring him to Milwaukee for his scoring, but now he's going to have more opportunity. He's going to have more field goal attempts. He's going to have more opportunity to kind of do what he's not accustomed to doing. And guys like Kyle Kuzma, same thing. Like this is kind of their time to carry that offensive weight. And Lou touched on Ryan Rollins. It's crazy. He's getting 17 points a game. That's 4 more points. He's the second leading scorer by 4 more points. If you would have told me they were 8 and 7 with Ryan Rollins being their second leading scorer,
Is that the number 2?
I think they'd be okay. Now the issue is they are the number 1 offense with Giannis. They are the number 30 offense without him. So they have to find ways to get production. Guys like A.J. Green, Gary Trent, those guys have to shoot the ball well, but it's going to be completely different now because there's not going to be anybody getting double teamed. There's not going to be anybody getting trapped or you're getting swing, open looks like you do when Giannis is on the floor. So it's going to take some adjustments. Coaching staff's going to have to make some adjustments. They're going to have to, I think, play faster, get out in transition. Don't let defenses get set because it's going to be a huge adjustment for this team without Giannis.
And another guy's Cole Anthony. If they can get some good production out of Cole Anthony and he kind of finds a rhythm coming off their bench for them, I think that gives them another look. So Giannis being out, that is alarming, but they also have guys that can step in and that can play at a high level for them as well.
God, I'm so over these injuries.
Yeah.
So over
It's a lot.
And honestly, like, I know injuries are injuries and you can't predict them, but like a calf, a hamstring, a groin, this is all something that you can't really rush back. You can't really just like ice it and go play. Like it lingers.
I have a theory. You know, I listen to a lot of NBA radio when I'm in the car, and Eddie Johnson, old school, was talking about how he believes, and I think a lot of the older guys do sort of look at this, is that there's no longer like a 28-day training camp, right? They used to have 2-a-days. They used to really, there was a grind to the preseason and the training that happened before, so that by the time you got to the season, your body was as good as it's going to be. And he was like, I never had a groin injury. I never had a hamstring injury. Like, is there something to that?
I'm on the fence with that because a lot of guys leave training camp with lingering injuries that you end up having throughout the season. So I think the correction for that is shortening training camps, not so much wear and tear, the 2-a-days and all of those things. But the reality of it is injuries are part of the game. Now, the reason why it's being spotlighted in the light that it's in now is because these are the household names. But everybody deals with injuries year in and year out. But the information is there. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to bypass it and say that something isn't at play there. But I don't know if a 28-day training camp fixes this. I don't know if that helps.
I don't either, but
like
it's interesting.
Lou said, like when we were playing, we would have like, I just remember it was 2-a-days and you only had to get taped for 1 of them usually. And that was like the contact big one. But there were also 7 preseason games, which was ridiculous. Like, and then they started doing like the star players and the starters, they weren't even playing anyway. So I think there's got to be a balance, right? They have to have real practices, real training camp, just to naturally get your body accustomed to the grind of the season, just to get in shape, cardio-wise in particular, just to have that. But also, there's so many now innovative ways that you can do that without having the impact, whether it's pool workouts or non-impact practices or non-contact. So there's different things you can do, but I do think you have to have some sort of in-game type action or scrimmages before, but also that still doesn't guarantee that you're not going to get hurt.
Yeah.
No, nothing does.
And we're still early in the season. Like we can make the argument, oh well, let's shorten the schedule. We're a month in. So shortening the schedule isn't going to impact
Still
what's going on.
eventually going to get
right?
to this amount of games anyways.
It's not even impacting what's going on now.
I just find it fascinating.
Yeah, it's a lot of data out there, a lot of analytics. I'm sure we'll start getting some comprehensive answers soon enough in the future. But again, injuries are part of the game.
And on the flip side, I guarantee you there's someone that didn't go through, that could go through training camp and get hurt, or not go through training camp and do every other day and have load management and minute restrictions and still get hurt.
I know.
So,
I always want to listen to what the older guys say because they had a completely different way of handling this career of basketball. And so
injuries cost Magic Johnson a championship. So, you know.
I know. I get it. There is no right answer.
These things happen in every era.
It's overwhelming right now just because we are not that far into the season, and I feel like these are some really big names that are out. Okay, so let's do the fun game everybody loves. Let's look at that schedule one more time. By the way, playing the Pistons 3 times is wild.
Especially when they're 13-2.
Yeah, this is a lot. But okay. Realistically, and I don't think you should just throw the Blazers out there. Like they try hard.
Okay, we talked about this yesterday with the Spurs schedule and the Memphis Grizzlies upcoming schedule. It is what it is, right? And none of these teams are just going to lay down. Obviously, you look at the names and you look at where they're at right now in the season, and this is a little bit favorable with the Nets, the Wizards, the Blazers, not necessarily elite teams. Outside the Pistons, who are really good right now, they're 13-2. These are all winnable games, and even the Pistons are winnable games. Again,
I mean, Bucks, 3 times they got to win one of them.
The Bucks have enough to compete and to win, half of these games. So I think if they can somehow manage to go 500 in this kind of 8-10 game stretch without Giannis, I think they're fine being around that 500 mark.
Yeah, I think that'll be a great position for them to be in. But any team with that much talent, if you go from first to worst with one player out in offensive rating. It doesn't really matter what the schedule
and
is.
Defensively too. Like,
yeah,
about how much better they are.
It doesn't matter who's on the schedule. If you guys can't find a way to score the basketball when Giannis being out, it's going to be a struggle. So that's going to be something they got to figure out.